Hey guys, welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. I'm going to kind of give you a little behind the scenes look today to my $1 Million Club. So we have a club, basically it's a group that I have a WhatsApp group, and we kind of chat back and forth on things. And so I'm going to share two different audios here. One is an audio kind of that I was talking about my nail fungus treatment process. I know it doesn't sound exciting, but it's something that we all see a lot. And I was kind of sharing my ideas on a new way that I explain it to patients, kind of the way I use my UV light and things like that, and also an anchoring technique that I talk about, the way I talk about laser as a way not so much to sell laser, but more just as an anchoring technique for something that's less expensive. Then I'm going to share as well kind of the audio from another guy that participates in the group as well. So if you're interested, basically the conversation that I have with patients, the first visit I do a nail sample, then they come back the second visit, I go over that nail sample. I don't call it a biopsy, I call it a nail sample, because it's not a biopsy unless I'm like numbing it up and doing a punch biopsy due to like a possible melanonychia or something else like that. And then when they come back, I go over my explanation of onychomycosis. Usually I use my little patient presentation. If you haven't seen that, you can go to patientpresentations.com. And on that presentation, you'll see the treatment sheet that I'm going to kind of verbally go over here. But you can download it and look at mine if you want. Then I'll kind of go over with them my treatment process, which is usually oral medication. And they'll take that for 3 months, and then they'll do a booster. Then I'll talk about the light that I don't normally do, but it costs $1,500. The laser light, and then I'll go over how we prevent recurrence. And preventing recurrence is really the way I talk about the UV light, talk about the shoe spray, and I have a specific spiel I say, and it's written on my treatment sheet. Then I talk about washing your shower and other things like that. So I'm going to include the original audio from our $1 Million Club, as well as the answer from one of the other doctors, and so others are kind of helping. So this is the nice thing about having a group like this, where we can kind of share ideas back and forth. I would love to know kind of what's working for you. If you even at the end I say, hey, what's working for you in terms of other things to increase revenue with nail fungus, because it's something that we see so often. We have to find ways to get patients better and also produce more revenue for our practice. Okay, once again, I hope you're going to like this behind the scenes view. Hey guys, hope you have a good Friday. I wanted to share something. This is kind of a dorky thing, but I have a new wording when I talk about nail fungus. So if you talk about nail fungus, what I do is I use that treatment sheet, and so when I talk about getting rid of it, so you'll talk about the Lamisil or whatever else you use, and then to prevent recurrence, I talk about, if you look on that sheet, they have to prevent recurrence, which I think is a big issue. And so on that treatment sheet, it talks about giving people the shoe zap or the UV light. They're going to use it once every 3 months. They use the shoe spray once a week. And then they do the other things, which are like wash the towels and other things like that. So with that method, just so you know, like 100% of my patients are getting the UV light and the shoe spray. So it's a lot easier. What I'm going to add on now is I'm going to get from Baco, there's the biotin that I currently recommend. I'm just having them buy it at the pharmacy, so that'll up my per visit value for that. And then the final thing, what I wanted to share though, is my explanation is I'm going to talk about, like, your fingernails don't have nail fungus because you're not wearing gloves all the time. If you wore gloves all the time, you would probably have nail fungus in your fingernails, because it's a warm, moist, dark environment, and that's the reason that we do the light. The other thing I do, which is called anchoring, is when I go down that treatment sheet, I talk about, here's nail laser treatment, which I don't think I hardly ever do laser, but I have one. But I usually do it as an anchor. So what that means is when I talk about laser, and I said, yeah, and the laser is like $1,500 for all these treatments, okay? And so when I do that, and then I go over to talk about the light, which is $150, and the Lamisil is covered, it reduces their difficulty in buying that stuff, because I've anchored it to a $1,500 expense that they're, oh no, I don't want to pay $1,500. Oh yeah, but $150 I will pay. So just kind of, that was my tip about nail fungus. Tell me what works for you. I know some people use the soaks, some people use like the topicals. I really don't think they work, so that's why I don't use them. If you really believe in them, like, sell me on the idea. Do you really see great results with these things, these other things that you're using? And let me know, so maybe I can start offering them.
Don, I appreciated that discussion about the use of your treatment sheet for onychomycosis. particularly with regard to the UV light shoe sterilizers. I started using them in my office back in around 2012, and I could not get patients to get them. It took me forever to get rid of my first shipment. So I never carried them anymore, and I've just sent people out to find them if they wanted to. But I think I'm going to revisit that idea of having them in my office, because if your compliance rate's close to 100%, uh, patients don't, you can tell them where to get those things, but they don't always go out and get them. So I appreciate you sharing that with us today. Um, I have used various products. I think we had a discussion a few weeks ago about the clear nail drill, which I use. I think it's reasonably effective way to help topical medications work. You can't use creams with it or gels or lacquers, but if you have an alcohol or acetone based antifungal spray like a Lamisil spray or um, a Lotrimin spray in a liquid, of course the powders don't work, then I think that clear nail drill can be somewhat effective. I've had some limited success with the Jublia and a little bit with tolsilene. None of that works great, but I've tried not to carry a lot of that in my office. I use EBM quite a bit, so to the patient it kind of is like filling a prescription, and that sort of makes, I guess, just me feel more comfortable that I'm not selling them something, even though technically I am. But anyway, like I said, thanks again for sharing that use of your treatment sheet for the nail fungus. I'm ready to revisit this idea of getting more of those supplies to my patient at the time of service. So I appreciate that. Thanks.